Hey guys, Tommy here. In this video, we're going to talk about how I'm 22 years old, making a little bit over $15,000 give or take every single month, and on top of that, I'm still living with my mom. Now, before you call Dave Ramsey on me, don't worry, I already checked out his video, and Dave Ramsey is by far one of my favorite YouTubers out there on the platform. If you can't tell, I'm being a little bit sarcastic here. Dave is cool, but he's not my favorite, and by far, we don't agree on most things out there, especially credit cards, and especially this topic here, which I was really surprised by his entire response. Back in April 2017, Dave had this to say, okay? A guy called in and said, you know what? Hey Dave, my name is Johnny, and I'm 23 years old. I live with my parents right now. Should I stay in here for a while I save for a 20% down payment on a house? And Dave said this. Dave said, no.
I wanted to know, I am completely out of debt, saving up a 20% down payment on a house while living with my parents.
I wouldn't.
You should move out right now because that will give you independence. It'll change you. And by paying rent, taking out the garbage, that would make you a man. Basically, that's what he said.
You've got to take the garbage out or it piles up. There's something that happens when you do that that is really good for Steven.
On top of it, he said, no, it doesn't make sense if the math doesn't make sense because you don't need a property right now. It doesn't make sense because it'll change you. And even if you buy that house later on, in years later, then it still will be good for you because you moved out and you paid rent that went into a hole. And I got really confused after that part, to be honest with you guys. And I just didn't understand what he was saying at this point.
It's a no-brainer, the math part of it, because whatever you're spending on rent's money going down the toilet. And, you're not going to get that money to put in your pile of money for your 20% down payment. So, but it's okay to rent for a little while.
But the main problem with Dave's concept is that, hey, why would you move out while you can still save up for a down payment on a house on your own property and build up your investment portfolio? But before I go into detail on this video to why I still live here, I want you guys to comment down below and let me know, what do you guys think about Dave's policy of, hey, you should move out early? Comment down below, do you agree or do you not agree? Now, if you ask me, I don't agree. And the reason is because, I don't have the luxury of going out there and going through trial by fire when I know what it does to you when you move out, because now you're paying bills. You should be using that money to actually invest. And I don't really agree with that thing. And here's why. Guys, I come from not from a rich family, not from a moderate family, but from a very poor family, okay? The highlight of my grandmother's life was basically, she got a house with a proper roof that wasn't made out of metal. That was the highlight of her life, okay? On top of that, by the way, she's still around. Don't think that's like her highlight. She's still around, healthy, which is awesome. I love you, Grandma. And also, guys, my dad literally went around when he was around 14 to 12 years old, barefooted, selling peanuts door to door to actually make money. And then eventually, like 10 to 20 years later, he became one of the best politicians in the community, which is awesome. On top of that, my uncle had a business and he wouldn't even be able to take out a water from the business while he was selling it because he couldn't afford to lose any money whatsoever or he would go under. Now, he has over $10 million worth of real estate, which is insane to me, and he makes a ton of money, and he's actually my mentor. But the concept is, guys, I don't come from a background of, you go through trial by fire. I come from a background of, hey, if you know what to do, you make it happen, and you try to get to that position as fast as possible. For example, guys, Graham. I think Graham waited, by the way, Graham Stephan, the YouTuber, over 1 million subscribers here on YouTube. One of my favorites, by the way, but for real, not like Dave. But he waited a little bit when he was like 24, 25 to actually move out. On top of that, Russ, a musician, waited until he was like 24 to move out. On top of that, my uncle waited until he was like in his late 20s to actually move out. Now, I'm not saying the policy of success is staying with your parents, but I am saying that if you don't have to move out and you can use that time while you're in there to save all that money from those bills and invest it into your future, then why wouldn't you do that? That's why I don't agree with Dave Ramsey and you moving out so you can actually take out the garbage and pay rent and know how it feels. I don't need to go through trial by fire here. By the way, trial by fire means that you have to go through that pain to feel like what it feels like and then say like, hey, okay, now I know what that feels like, so I won't do it. It's kind of like if you broke your leg and you told me, hey, Tommy, I broke my leg, it hurts. Do I have to break my leg too so I know that it actually hurts? No, I believe you, bro. Your leg is broken. I can tell it hurts. I don't need to do it myself. Now, I want to go into detail here, guys, on why I still live with my mom in her house here in New York, okay? Now, before I do that, do me a favor, if you're up to this video right here at this point, do me a favor and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And why do I ask? Because when you guys subscribe and you guys like the video, it helps a ton with the channel and the algorithm of YouTube, and that way these videos get put out there to the masses of the YouTube world, okay, which is awesome. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and also liking the video. Now, let's get into it. To the main reason why I still live with my mom. Now, everyone knows this. I love my mom. I'm pretty sure you love your mom and your parents, which is awesome, unless like something's going on in your life. But the concept is I love my mom, but the main reason I still live here is for the number one fact. By the way, there's 3 of them. Is for the number one fact that, hey, I have a very low cost of living by living here with my mom. Now, why is that? I don't really pay a lot of bills. However, I do pay for the internet and I do pay for my own food, but I don't pay any rent, any electricity, any cable, because we don't even have electricity or cable. I mean cable, we have electricity because I wouldn't be able to make this video here with lights, okay? But the main thing is I have a very low cost of living by staying here with my parents. Meaning I don't have to go out there, like Dave says, and go rent an apartment for like $700 to $1,500 here in New York and live there and pay rent, pay bills that I really shouldn't be doing, because I guess, according to Dave, it makes me a stronger person. Do I agree with it? The answer is no. Now, the second reason is because, you know, guys, it allows me work flexibility. Now, when I graduated from my college, and I graduated with an accounting degree, because, by the way, I'm an accountant also. When I graduated, guys, I decided I don't want to pursue this degree or this career because I already have the degree, because I know if I do that, I'll be working around 40 to 60 hours a week, and I won't have enough time to develop my skills into what I really want to do, which was YouTube at the time, and to make more passive income. By the way, I make around $10,000 from YouTube and $5,000 to $6,000 every single month for my other business, okay? That's how I do it. Now, if I chose to live somewhere else, in my own apartment, obviously I couldn't be like, hey, I'm not going to work this job. I'll be like, hey, I have to work this job because I have to pay the bills. But because I live here with my mom, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this job. I'm going to go somewhere else, a part-time, do that job while I'm making that money to then create more income for myself and then put that money towards more passive income streams. That's what I did, and that's the main reason I really love living here. Well, that's why I love living here, because now, obviously, I make enough money to move out, but I still haven't. Now, the third reason why I still live here is because, hey, I get an express route to invest in, okay? Now, by investment, I mean that all the money I save from rent and bills, I can literally put all that money. By the way, it saves me a ton of time because I don't need like a crazy job like back then, because now my jobs and my businesses make me a lot of money. However, back in the days, I would have had to get a normal job, okay? And I couldn't be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. No, I needed the job because I would probably like renting and having to pay rent and bills. And if I don't pay the rent, I go to a shelter. Now, here's what I do with all the money I save from the bills and the rent. I put all that money towards my investments to create for myself more income, which is always great if you ask me. So I don't use that money. By the way, back in the days when I was in college, I will admit something, okay? I used to use every single penny I had extra, not for investing, because I didn't know what investing was yet. I used to use all that money for one thing, to buy clothes, buy sneakers, and buy anything I wanted to. But now, I literally give myself $60 every single week to have fun with. Now, if you don't know what this means, guys, it means that I don't use 10% of my income to have fun, or 20%. I literally use, if I'm making $15K every single month and I'm spending $60 a week, I literally only use 60 divided by $15,000. I literally only use around 0.004% of my money to actually go out there and have fun. By fun, I mean go on dates, buy video games, buy dumb stuff on Amazon, like filters. Like, I don't even know for what. I don't even have a filter. Like, I don't know why I have all this stuff, okay? But I buy a lot of dumb stuff on Amazon just for fun with my money, because I like having fun like that. But only up to $60 a week. That's my limit, because all the rest of the money that I actually have, I put it towards investing, okay? Now, I also want to break down, guys, my exit strategy, because, by the way, I love living here with my mom, okay? I think it's awesome. But however, I don't think I'm gonna, well, I know I'm not gonna be here forever. Now, my exit strategy is I want to move out my mom's house by the time I turn 25 years old. Tommy, how do you come up with this number? The answer is I wanted to give myself a good margin of safety to make sure that by the time my 25th birthday actually comes along, I'm in the correct financial stability zone to actually say like, hey, I can move out to my own place and I can also have passive income and all this other stuff. Okay, so basically, guys, if you guys don't know, okay, I want to have 3 factors together before I actually decide to pull the trigger and say like, hey, I'm going to move out because now I actually can move out. By the way, I don't want to move out just for the sake of saying like, hey, I moved out, I struggled, and then I became successful. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, it makes sense to me that if you know the struggle already, just avoid the struggle, make all the money, and make it faster for yourself. Because again, I don't have the luxury of coming from a rich family or a middle class family. I come from a poor family, and I know that, hey, these factors right here help my uncle, help Graham, help Russ. All these people develop their skills even further to then create more income for themselves in the future. Now, for my exit strategy, guys, I want to have 3 factors actually straighten out before I decide to actually move out. Now, the first thing is this, guys, that I want to make sure when I actually move out, I move out to my own personal place. Now, Tommy, what do you mean by this? Okay, very simple. I don't want to move out to rent a room or rent an apartment like Dave Ramsey says. I want to move out to say like, hey, I have my own place, my own property that makes me money. But not just one property. I want to make sure when I move out with the concept of saying like, hey, this is going to be my first property, but all my properties for the first 3 to 5 properties are all going to be investment properties to then later on create passive income for myself. Now, the second thing I need before I move out is basically I want to have passive income coming in to make sure that when I move out, I'm having enough money coming in to the point that everything is fine, because I know that I don't have to work in a sense to make money, because the investments that actually labored before then actually make me money right now. So by that I mean I want my stock and bonds to produce enough dividends to actually make me and allow me to actually live my normal life. On top of that, I want to make sure I have real estate income, and on top of that, I want to make sure I also have business income coming in from my investments. Now, the last factor is all about FFA. Now, that stands for financial freedom. Now, this means that I want to make sure, or FF, not FFA. I don't know what the A stands for there, but basically, I want to make sure when I move out, I have financial freedom to the point. By the way, my financial freedom number, which is the number I need to make to actually be financially free, is around $50,000 a month. I mean, a year. And I don't even know how I would spend that money because it's so much money to me. To be honest, like $50,000 to me is a ton of money. I don't know what I would spend it on. Like, but guys, my luxurious spends are literally around $60 a week. So I don't know what I would spend so much money on, because it's around like $4,000 every single month. Like, what would I spend so much money on? I just don't know. Now, the main thing is, guys, that I want to make sure that when the time comes, I'm financially free and I don't need a job or anything to actually make sure I'm okay. Does that mean I will stop working? The answer is no. I have big plans. Now, those plans I will reveal in another video, but for right now, I'll give you a hint, and here it is. Eventually, I do want to become a billionaire, the first billionaire in my family, because I can't be the first millionaire because they already did that, but I want to become the first billionaire in my family to create an insurance company to actually help people in third world countries, because again, my dad passed away because he couldn't afford the bill, and at the moment I couldn't afford to pay that bill either, and that's why I'm not willing to go out there and experiment with failure just to say like, hey, I failed. No, I want to make sure all my energy goes towards creating more income and creating a better life, not just for me, but also for my family and everyone else. Okay, now that's why, by the way, I share all this content, all this information on this channel, because I don't want you guys to be like not knowing what to do with your life. I want to make sure that you guys know what I know, because if you guys know what I know, which I learned from other people, that they learn from other people, then we can make this a lot more faster and a lot more efficient for everyone else to actually become successful, and you don't have to go to trial by fire like Dave Ramsey recommends. By the way, Dave is the same guy that says all the time, hey, you don't need credit cards, just use debit cards because you don't want to get into the habit. Then why are you recommending people actually go out there and get into not credit card debt, but apartment debt, because all that money goes literally into a hole. You don't need that at all. Okay, now guys, comment down below and let me know, do you guys enjoy this video? What video should I do next? And on top of that, comment down below if after all this stuff, do you guys agree with Dave Ramsey, or do you guys agree with me a little bit more? By the way, what is your financial freedom number? Is it $50,000? Is it $70,000? Is it $10,000? Comment down below, how much money do you need to make every single year to actually be financially free and retire at any point you want to? Comment down below and let me know. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor and smash the like button. On top of that, if you haven't noticed, if you're not subscribed to the channel right now, subscribe to the channel right now, and also turn on notifications, because that way you get notified whenever I post a new video, which is always awesome. And on top of that, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram at TommyBryson. And before I go, if you want to watch a video on how I save 95% of all my income, watch this video right here. Very important. It shows you how I save a lot of my money, like all of my money, and where the rest of the money actually goes. And if you want to subscribe to the channel right now, click my face right here. This face right here with this guy, that's me. If you click it, you subscribe to the channel right now. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, thank you guys for watching, and peace. By the way, Dave, I don't agree with you. And yeah, peace.